Hi dear students, I hope you all are fine at your home. Let me remind you one thing that we successfully completed our second chapter. Do you remember what did we study in our second chapter? Tell me. Yes, we studied about the European domination. Yes, today we are going to start our third chapter. Our third chapter is resistance and the first war of independence. The resistance and the first war of independence. Okay, it is the continuation of the second chapter. In the second chapter, we already understand that almost all parts of India came under the company rule. The second chapter, we already understood that almost all parts of the entire control of the British. Okay, we already learned that the English East Indian Company made significant change in the socio-economic and cultural field, and they controlled the supremacy in India. The Britishers looted the economic wealth in India. We already studied that in the previous chapter. The Britishers came under the control of the princely states in India. Today we are going to start our third chapter. Okay, are you ready? Okay, this is the first page of our third chapter. This is the first page of our third chapter. Okay, can you see a picture here? Can you see a picture? What do you identify from this picture? What do you identify from this picture? Tell me. Yes. In this picture, we can see it is an agitation by the people in Bengal named Nagodas. Here, you can see a lot of people standing in front of a British soldier and they are taking a pledge. A lot of people standing in front of a British soldier and they are taking a pledge. Okay? All of you look at here. Yes. It is an agitation made by people in Bengal named Nagodas. It is the struggles made by people in Bengal named Nagodas. Who is Nagodas? Who is Nagodas? Nagodas were a group of sericulturalist people. Group of people. Nagodas were a group of sericulturalist people. Here they are taking a pledge against the Britishers. Nagodas, it is the incident, it is an agitation, is an important milestone in the history of our world. Okay, do you already learn about Bengal in our previous class? Do you remember? Already learned about Bengal in our previous class. Okay? Bengal is the finest place of agriculture. The company's first capturing place was Bengal. All of you already studied in the previous chapter. Bengal is the company's first dominating place was Bengal. Okay? There are so many factors that motivated Bengal, the East Indian Company, to gain power in Bengal. There are so many factors that motivated English East Indian Company to gain power in Bengal. What are the factors? Yes, agricultural prosperity and convenient trade facilities. After the two battles, the Battle of Plassey in 1757, after the Battle of Buxar in 1764, in these two battles, the entire Bengal came under the company rule. After the two battles, the Battle of Plassey, the Battle of Buxar, the entire Bengal came under the company rule. The people in Bengal, the Nagodas, were completely exploited by the Britishers. After the battle, after the capturing of Bengal, the people in Bengal, the Nagodas, were completely exploited by the Britishers. Okay? Then the Nagodas, here we can already see this picture. Nagodas were the group of people, sericultural people in different ways. After the capturing of Bengal, the Nagodas were completely exploited by the Britishers. In different ways, the British exploited the Nagodas. In different ways. They were made bonded laborers of the company, and they denying opportunity to seek any other means of livelihood. They were forced to live like slaves under the company, and they compelled to do weaving for meager wages, and their properties were seized. In this way, the company completely exploited the Nagodas. Okay? There are different ways company exploited the Nagodas, the people, the sericulturalist people in Bengal, like Nagodas. How many ways? How many ways the company? They were bounded, they were made bonded laborers of the company, denied opportunity to seek any other means of livelihood, and their properties were seized, and they compelled to do weaving for meager wages. So the people Nagodas, hence they decided to cut their thumbs. They cut their thumbs as a protest against the British, as a protest against the East Indian Company. Yes, here it is the picture. Hence, the people in Nagodas protest against as they cut their thumbs as a protest against the English East Indian Company. Okay. Yes. It is that we can understand in this picture. It is that we can understand in this picture. This is not only a single protest against the company rule, but there are so many agitations made in different parts of the world, different parts of India. This is the Nagodas agitation. Nagoda struggles is not only a single struggle, but also there are so many struggles, so many agitations made in different parts of India, in different parts of the areas. Okay. The peoples like farmers, weavers, handicraft and tribals were highly exploited by the company rule. Now we discuss each of the people's struggles, each of the people's fight against the company rule. The first one, that is farmers. The first one, that is farmers. Against farmers. The different type of peoples were under the control or under the exploitation of company rule. Who were exploited under the company rule? Yes, farmers, tribals, handicraft and weavers. Farmers, tribals, handicraft and weavers. These are the peoples were exploited under the company rule. These are the peoples were exploited under the company rule. The first one, that is farmers. Against farmers. The farmers were the owners of the land. We already learned that farmers were the owners of the land. They are the workers of the land, and their condition is very poor in the land. They do a meager wages. Hardworking peoples. We already learned that the farmers are the very hardworking. Then already learned that, we already knew that the Bengal is the finest place of the agriculture. Bengal is the finest place of the agriculture. And the people in Bengal highly engaged in cultivation. The farmers, they mainly engaged in cultivation, and they cultivated so many crops. After the capturing of Bengal, the main aim of the British, that is to exploit the maximum resources in Bengal. The Bengal is the finest place of agriculture, and most of the peoples are farmers, and they cultivated so many crops. After the capturing of Bengal, English East India Company, to aim, the English East Indian Company, the major aim was to exploit the maximum resources in Bengal. After the capturing of Bengal, the English East Indian Company exploit the maximum resources in Bengal. So they adopted some strategies. The British adopted some techniques, strategies. What are the strategies? What are the strategies they adopted for the exploitation? The first one, that is levied heavy taxes on farmers. Levied heavy taxes on farmers. The first one, levied heavy taxes on farmers. The British adopted so many strategies. The first strategies for the exploitation, that is levied heavy taxes on farmers. The second strategy, that is no tax concession even when flood or destroyed agriculture. First one, levied heavy taxes on farmers. The second one, no tax concession even when flood or destroyed the agriculture. The third one, middlemen or zamindars. The zamindars were assigned to tax. The zamindars were assigned to tax, were assigned to the duty to collecting tax, were assigned to duty to collecting tax. Tax was to be paid in the form of cash. The fourth one, tax was to be paid in the form of cash. Levied heavy taxes on farmers, no tax concession even when drought, flood and destroyed agriculture. The zamindars were assigned to duty to collecting tasks. Tax was to be paid in the form of cash. The last one, the farmers depend on sahus. The farmers depend on sahus, the private money lenders. In these strategies are adopted the Britishers to exploit the maximum resources in Bengal. Levied heavy taxes on farmers, the first strategy. Then second one is no tax concession even when drought, flood or destroyed agriculture. The third one, the zamindars were assigned to duty the collecting task. The tax was to be paid in the form of cash. The farmers depend on sahus, the private money lenders. The peoples like farmers, weavers, craftsmen and also tribals are highly exploited under the company rule. The first one, farmers, they were the workers of the land. They were the hard working of the peoples in land. The first one, the the British adopted some strategies to exploit the farmers. The one levied heavy tax on farmers, no tax concession even when drought, flood or destroyed the agriculture. Zamindars were assigned to duty the collecting task. The tax was to be paid in the form of cash. The fifth one, the farmers depend on sahus, the private money lenders. These are the 5 strategies to adopt the British to collecting task, to collecting the maximum resources in Bengal. Okay, all of you write the points. What are the question is, what are the strategies? What are the strategies to adopt the Britishers? The British to adopt the Britishers to exploit India. To exploit India. What are the strategies to adopt the Britishers to exploit India? These are the 5 strategies. Okay. Okay. Today I wind up our call. Next class we will discuss more about in this section. Okay, thank you.